Welcome to 10 Minutes Today. I'm Jake, and that's Matej, and this right here is your favorite thrice weekly show, only coming to you on YouTube for the time being.
Yep.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and tell your friends to subscribe, and follow us on Twitter. Pop from Twitter. You can find our Instagrams and Snapchat, and my PSN is on there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. So today's topic, Matej, let's
What is it?
get to it. Bill C-16.
The controversy is real with this.
We were just talking about, there's a lot of people discussing this around the world. It's been on the Joe Rogan podcast, Sam Harris's Waking Up podcast.
It's all over the place.
CNN has been discussing it, but we are Canadian and we don't give a fuck what Americans think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's fine.
one of the biggest guys
if you have an
that's
opinion,
talking
but it
about
doesn't
it all
matter.
over the place is Jordan Peterson, who is a U of T professor. So he's
University
Canadian.
of Toronto.
Yes. He's been talking about it a lot. He's seems to think that it's going to criminalize the use
So
of
what is it? Get to what it
gender
is.
pronoun misuse and things like that. Anyways.
Tell the people what it is.
Well, so I'll break it up because Bill C-16 is really, it does three different things. Like it adds gender identity or expression to three different areas within the Charter of Human Rights. Mm-hmm. The first place they add it is in section. I'm not going to go in order because I think the biggest speaking portion is going to be the first place they add it. So the second and third place. The first place they add the word gender identity or expression is to the criminal code at section 318 subsection 4, which defines identifiable groups for the purpose of inciting genocide. So it joins words like color, race, religion, origin, age, sex, etc., etc.
Yep.
So basically they're just saying you can't incite genocide on somebody for having a specific gender identity or expression.
That's fair.
Just adding it in with, like I said, race, religion. Okay, that's fair. So before you could say, let's kill all the people that have gender identity problems.
You couldn't. But now just like
Now it's black
that
and
was
white.
always a crime.
That was
but now
gray.
it's like
that was gray. Now it's
it was
like
not
black and
gray.
white. It's gray.
It went from like light black to dark black.
So that's the first place they added it in. The second place they added in is section 718.2 AI, which deals with sentencing for hate crime.
Yeah.
So again, it's joining color, race, religion, etc., etc.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. Actually, most provincial human charter or Canadian human rights code already have a version of this in their own provincial code. So this is basically just the federal government playing catch up. Now, the final place, and one thing to note, hate speech is only used in like certain extreme circumstances, which, I mean, not everybody agrees with the hate speech anyways, but
I don't.
I mean, you have to have the Attorney General sign off on it, and it has only been used for really extreme cases.
Yeah.
But because it has the potential to be used on a broad scale, that's why a lot of people don't like it.
That's the one that Joe Rogan focused on. He doesn't like that one. I agree. I don't like the inclusion. I don't like hate speech being illegal in general. It doesn't make sense, and it's not really clear that it's illegal, but it's illegal. Like it's not a crime, but it's still on the books as illegal, and no one really knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
No one's been sentenced to long periods because of it, but we have it on the books. It's very complicated. But what is the controversial?
Well, the final place it was added, it's basically just adding gender identity or expression to the Canadian Human Rights Code in general, so which prevents federal governments and businesses with federal jurisdiction, like banks, from discriminating against somebody on the basis of gender identity.
Right.
So non-discrimination on the basis of gender identity doesn't necessarily include pronoun misuse,
right?
But it doesn't necessarily what's the word? Like not include it.
Yeah.
So in the future, you might see people getting in trouble for not referring to somebody a way that they would like you to refer to them, which. Okay, that's kind of getting a little murky, but it's not going to be... But it's not going to be...
Fuck that.
But it's not going to be criminal. Like, a lot of people are saying they're worried it's going to be some sort of criminal offense. The only sort of reprimand is going to be non-monetary. It's going to be things like the practice is going to have to be halted. So, like, a court will say, okay, you need to refer to this person as X YZ or whatever the hell they want to be referred to.
Z or id.
Sure.
Or
let's say it's like a hiring practice.
Are.
Let's say it's like a hiring practice in a business. The government will just say, okay, well, like makes this accombination. So it's not going to be any.
And
sort
that's
of, like,
not just for federal businesses. Businesses in general cannot not hire you because you are transgendered.
Exactly.
Just like they can't because you're black or gay or whatever the hell
and
else
that's
might
where
be.
that's where a lot of people are having the problem with it. The other two areas, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, you're gonna add these people to be included in people you can't have hate speech against and people you can't incite genocide against. Like, sure, that's fine. Where the biggest problem is in this section here.
Yeah. So, like I said, the CHRA, the Canadian Human Rights Act, is it's really odd the way it's used. So the biggest implication is that you now can't tell someone that they either can't come into your restaurant or you're not going to hire them because they're transgender.
Exactly.
That is fine. My problem is with the CHRA at a higher level, where what the hell is it? We need this specified, where, like, what are the limitations? As you were saying, does this mean a transgendered person who looks and everything to be a female but identifies as a male, if someone calls that individual she, is that wrong? What it says is the evidence has to be that an offense was motivated by bias, prejudice, or hate based on gender identity or expression. So does that mean that someone who lives we live in Canada.
Sure.
Most of Canada is out in the middle of nowhere. Does that mean someone who lives out in northern Alberta in a town of 15 people on a farm where they see a total of 200 different individuals a year and is like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't like transgendered people.
Yeah.
And he runs into someone, or she runs into someone at a store, and there's a guy dressed as a girl, and they're like, what the hell are you? Does that mean that because that person has posted online before saying they don't like transgender people and they've never, ever, ever in their lives dealt with anything remotely like that,
Sure.
that if they make one comment at a store that's in some way indictable, it's some sort of indictable offense? Do you get a ticket for that? Do you go to counseling? Do you go to jail for that?
Well, no.
What does that mean?
That's not the part of the criminal. Like, the only parts of the criminal code that were changed were those two sections we were talking about.
Right, the genocide and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
so when you're
what if you own a store and someone comes in for an interview and you've literally never in your life seen a gay person, let alone a transgender person, and this person just moved to town? I'm telling you what'll happen. They'll laugh, like, in your face. They'll be like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you dressed like that?
Sure.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
To people who are living out on their own, it doesn't make sense. Why is that wrong?
It's not that it's wrong, but it's just they're just trying to, I guess, mandate a way that would be appropriate to act. Like I said, it's not going to be any sort of criminal offense if you're saying, what the hell are you? If it ends up going to court, it's just going to be a non-monetary.
Yeah, but the court
reprimand.
can say, no, you have to say that person is a he. If we ran into each other once on the street and then the transgender person calls probably an ombudsman or something to complain about this injustice, it's not yet. The second reading is going to be happening shortly this summer sometime.
It has been flying through,
or before
though,
the summer break. Well, it's only had one vote. It's only had one vote.
But it flew through that, no problem.
Right. But what does that mean? If, like, these people are, like, what does it mean? It just doesn't make sense. You're saying that, you have to say that this person is what they say they are.
Sure.
Okay. Why is the government getting involved in this at all? It doesn't make sense. I understand you can't not hire someone because they're transgender.
Yes.
That's just like saying you can't hire someone because they're a woman.
Yeah.
That law should be in place
for sure.
Except in acting, and people want to change that. That's some bullshit. You can't have a man play a female role in television.
No, that makes sense.
But
yeah, I agree with you. Like, there are places where this belongs, definitely, and there are places where it doesn't. I think when you're mandating... And it needs to be
fixed.
And I think it needs to be definitely specified, because if you're mandating something so general to say you have to refer to somebody as he, she, z, we, b, a, b, f, pixiekin, whatever the hell, like, you can't do that.
No.
They shouldn't have any.
The government cannot do that.
Sure.
You as an individual, don't talk to the guy who doesn't want to call you
exactly
whatever the hell.
Separate hate speech. Separate the genocide. That's all fine. But when you're generalizing it like that, that's where you're gonna have to.
The world's not a safe space. I've said it before on this show, and I'm saying it again. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment about what you think, whether you agree or disagree. Yeah. Once again, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hit that sub button and tell your friends.
Yeah. Let's continue this discussion in the comments.
Come back every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Have a great day.